This is going to be a nightclub sales mission. I've just emptied my safe and banked that money. And now I'm going to log into my computer here and do a nightclub sale. I'm not completely full to where I like to go. I usually wait for these to get, at least one of them to get to full. But if I'm over 500,000, 600,000, I will sell. Occasionally I miss one and I'm losing out on not producing these if they fill up. So I could go for a little mini sale here, but really there's no point. I'm just going to sell a lot. You get a little bit of a bonus when you do those optional sales, but it's not worth for me doing the extra running around. I can make that money some other way.
Alright, as much as I love having product that could get me locked up for life under this roof, it's time to say goodbye. This buyer wants the delivery split up, so drive to the drop-offs I give you in any order.
Okay, so we've got 5 drops, and they're all spread around the city. This is a pretty easy mission. I'll go to... this one's the nearest, so I'll go to that one first. I do not think I get attacked on these drops, but I might. I'll just switch there to a pistol so that I haven't got the little heads-up display for the missiles. This is the Mule again. This is the middle-sized of the 3 potential delivery vehicles. But as I don't go really full on my nightclub, I never actually need to use the biggest one, the Pounder. In fact, on this character I don't even own the Pounder. And on the other character I have, this Mule has a little grenade launcher on the top, but the driver doesn't get to use the grenade launcher, so it's useless. So I might actually take it off, because I don't really like it having it poking out there when I can't even use it. If I had an associate with me and they were sitting in the passenger seat, they would get to use the grenade launcher. But really it's not necessary. It's a bit awkward. It's a limited number of shots, and anyone who's chasing you, proximity mines are going to do the job. Anyone in front of you, you either drive past and use proximity mines, the easiest thing to do because your job is to drive this vehicle, or you can use missiles. So that's the first drop completed. This one, oh, I am going to get an enemy, okay. So I can drop a couple of mines there. Proximity mines get the job done. So again, proximity mines really are the best way of dealing with enemies, I find, if you have them in these nightclub sales missions, because your job is to get to a certain location and drop off the goods, and anything else you're doing is wasting time. So if you're trying to line up shots with your missile launcher or something, you're wasting your time. So what I do is just drop a few mines behind me. Sounds like they've all got sent off by other NPCs, but me. Oops, just went a bit too far there. Back up a little bit. He's on his way. Is he going to catch up? Of course, he's not actually hitting my character, and he's not doing any significant damage to the delivery vehicle either, because it's armoured, and he can't hit me because I'm in the cab at the front with a big solid piece of metal behind me. Now, if they get in front of you and get you jammed somewhere, that's when they can really be annoying. Oh, here he comes. So he's going to try and get in front of me, but I really don't care. And proximity mines just do the job. And again, with these proximity mines, you can have 5 out on the map at any one time. If I drop 6 and the first one hasn't gone off, then it will be removed from the map. Which can be useful to know, because if you accidentally drop in places you need to go, you can remove them by dropping more somewhere else. And these guys are going to come up behind me and try and shoot at me, but they're really not going to have any great effect. They all got out of their car. So the Mule isn't as fast as the Pounder, but I kind of prefer it because it's more manoeuvrable. And flat out speed isn't usually necessary, as long as it'll get you there. I find the Pounder is so long and so large that it can get stuck in places, and the Mule's much easier to get in and out with. So other players prefer the Pounder, so your choice which one you're going to use. Now if you buy the Mule, you can use the Mule if you're below a certain quantity of crates. So be aware of that. You might want to try the Pounder first, and if you don't like it, buy the Mule. I believe if you get the Mule out as a personal vehicle, and then as a special vehicle actually, and then destroy it with missiles, if you choose not to replace it, it won't then be available to use for sales. So if you really get the Mule and really hate it, you could destroy it and just not replenish it, not call the insurance company to replenish it, and it won't be available, I believe. I haven't tested that theory, but it seems logical to me, since it holds true for all other vehicles. You can get them destroyed and they will not be available to you. Now that drop is out in the countryside out there, and then there's one way out here. Let's go for this one first, because it will be slightly quicker to get to. And there's a little cut through you can do here through this car park I discovered. It's actually a stunt jump, but I don't really bother with the stunt jumps. Just so it's going right around that corner. Okay. I think all the attackers that were going to attack us are now done. You usually get 3, sometimes 4 waves of attackers in different missions, and then they're done. Occasionally they will continuously replenish, so it doesn't really matter what you do, you're going to keep getting attacked. But again, if they're behind you and they're just shooting with pistols or machine guns, it's not going to do you any harm. It's when they get in front of you and try and knock you out of your path or get you jammed up against something, that's when they really can take you out. But in these nightclub delivery missions, it doesn't matter if you die. You just go back and pick up the truck again. You may have to shoot the enemies if they're surrounding the truck, or lead them on a wild goose chase out of the way and then run back to your truck. As long as you don't run out of time, you will get the goods delivered. And that's why, for me, the nightclub is the ultimate solo business. As long as you're playing the game, it's generating product for you. You then have one delivery vehicle to sell that product. You have to have the other visitors for the product to generate. You don't have to run them. You can just ignore them if you choose to. They have to be active, but you could just sell this every day and you'd be making money. And these sales missions, I don't think I've ever failed on one. They're very, very straightforward. Sometimes they're deliveries to multiple points like this, sometimes it's just one delivery. There's one where you have to follow a helicopter. That's really simple. The hardest one, the one where you might lose your goods if you're not careful, is probably the one where you have to drop the vehicle onto a barge at sea. You drive to a location, you then use a cargo bob that they provide you with to pick up your vehicle, and then you have to take it out to a barge and swing it onto a barge. And if you misjudge that and end up dipping your vehicle into the sea, you might lose your goods, which would be annoying. And that's one reason I prefer the mule to the pounder. It's a lot easier to pick up a mule than a pounder. A pounder probably weighs twice as much, and it's also more awkward to get it onto the barge. So when that one comes up and I've got the mule, I'm always very pleased I've got the mule and not the pounder. Okay, here we go. Got that one. One left to go. Just a nice drive out through the country. This road on the west side of the island always reminds me of the Pacific Highway. I live on the west coast of America, so I can drive up and down this highway, and it's very, very atmospheric for me. It kind of always feels like holiday because I don't live right on the coast, but I'm about 50 miles inland, but I can get out there if I want to, and it always feels like I'm on holiday when I'm out there. I should say on vacation. Okay, heading inland on Route 68. And this is a frequent drop point for various different goods they put up here. If I was in a smaller vehicle, I'd probably nip up there up the side on the grass, but in this mule, I'm just going to go around the normal way. Drop done. And Tony will congratulate me and take his 10%. And that was 669,000 for just doing that one little sales mission. You'll often find one of these little, what do they call it? ATVs, all-terrain vehicles, at this location. And I think I can steal this and stick it in my clubhouse. Since my clubhouse is just down the road, let's do that, see if it works. That's the pedestrian
And the
entrance.
sale is made. You get the cash.
There we go. Since I have very few vehicles in this location, I've just gained myself an ATV. Okay, sale done.